Check in with you guys about Marvel Future Revolution. I'm still playing the game a lot. And I've been working on multiple characters. And as the game gets closer to global launch, we'll definitely be making guides and things like that. But I want to talk about this post on Reddit. And I do want to acknowledge that there's some really wonky, horrible, unplayer-friendly things going on right now with the game. And I want to talk about this post, and this is from Kraken Null, someone that I'm very aware of and interact with quite a bit, not only on Twitch, but in Marvel Strike Force and now in Marvel Future Revolution, and somebody I have a lot of respect for. And we're going to read this, and I want to put one caveat on this, is like, this first, he even says it in here. I feel like right now we're in soft launch, but it's not really a soft launch. I think we're in a beta test, and I don't feel like we're getting the best care, and there's not enough acknowledgement of the way things are, and there's a lot of silent nerfs and weird things going on, and that is concerning. And I will be extremely concerned if these things continue once the game has gone global. But right now, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt for some of these shady, horrible, unplayer-friendly things that are going on right now in the game, because I think that they're making an adjustment. And some of these adjustments I saw even in Marvel Strike Force when that game came out. The game was very fast initially. They ramped up the progression early. They allowed a lot of players to get counts very quickly up and running. And that's what's happening in Marvel Future Revolution, is the counts have gotten very big very quickly. And then we're testing all the content out. But then they're also scaling the game way back. And my expectation is that when the game goes global, the game is going to be a lot slower than it is now. And I also expect it to be even slower than it is today. And so that's what a lot of this post is about. State of the game discussion. And I agree with everything he says in here, but I'm just not sure if it's because we're in soft launch. Good day, everyone. I keep this as civil as possible, so thank you in advance. First of all, my whale Kraken gone, free to play. So let me be transparent with that. I'm an active member of X-Force Alliance, so that's Reminix's alliance, and my in-game name is Kraken Null. I'm very familiar with him. I have all 8 heroes at level 100, so I wanted to complete that before even attempting feedback. I'm making this post because I want to hear everyone's thoughts about the current state of the game soft launch, or not. This has felt more like a beta. Yes, this is more like a beta than a soft launch, and we're spending real-world money, and I know he spent real-world money, a lot of money. I've spent about $50. Honeymoon phase has ended, and some shady things have happened in between the last 2 patches that haven't been acknowledged or weren't in the patch notes. Yes, shadow nerfs practically, but we will talk about that later. Yes, first we'll talk about what I found enjoyable. This story was well written. Yes, found the world to captivate me in the first playthrough or so. Yeah, releveling characters is not as enjoyable as the first time. The first time is amazing. Character models and costume models are out of this world for a phone game. Yes, this is a AAA mobile title, without a doubt. I mean, it's over the top great, right? I mean, look at this guy; he's amazing. Kits feel heroic to use and immersive, especially playing Iron Man. He felt extremely responsive. I very much like it. I recommend Iron Man to everyone right now. Alliance missions, I think they could be expanded on. Okay, gear badge sharing, phenomenal feature. Yeah. So what he's talking about is that you can your badges. These right here can go between any of your accounts, the cores, so you can take them from account to account. So there's a couple things in this game that work like that. Omega cards also transfer from account to account, or alt to alt, character to character, but there's one stat that won't. And so so you get like 80% of the stats transfer from account to account. Then the gear, like right here, in which we're going to talk a lot about gear, it just does not transfer at all. Unenjoyable aspect, specialization failure rate. All right, what he's talking about is it's super annoying. When you get into specialization, he talks about this a couple times, and I hope this might change, but I know what he's talking about. There's always this like percent chance to fail, and it accelerates when you get deeper into the bonus trees, where you're just like doing all this stuff and then you get nothing and it keeps failing. And the core system works that way too. It just feels bad when you have like take 3 pieces and then there's a small percent chance that it'll evolve into 1 piece, but nope, you just get the same piece, where you only have like a very small percent chance it upgrades, and it just seems super expensive and frustrating, and the pieces are disappearing, right? Lack of specialization like gear and badge have It shouldn't have to pay for resources when I want to be PvE and PvP to choose different active traits. Yeah. Changing out this system, like if I have one equipped and I want to switch them around, cost resources. Horrible. Tertiary stats on cards should be able to be re-rolled when given to another character, even at cost of premium. He's talking about Omega cards. Basically, like if you pull an Omega card out of a box and it's amazing, if it's over 4 stars, it has an exclusive stat given to Iron Man only, which you can't change. Once it's unlocked at Iron Man, that's over. Then you can't if you put this card on Storm, you won't get that stat, and there's no way of changing that stat, which is fortunate if you are opening Omega cards. This has been talked about a lot. I know Darth Microtransactions talked about this in several videos also. Sheer lack of sim particle attainment, even after the amount needed was increased on an already pitiful crafting system. And this is the way that I'll explain the way the sin particles are. You know, they have this crafting system, and the crafting system is basically useless, and the only bottleneck in the system is the sin particles. And imagine, it's like them going to, and I don't know if everybody will understand this, because this might be an American, United States thing only. But in the United States, we have, at McDonald's, sometimes they have this Monopoly game. And the Monopoly game pieces, you collect the pieces and you feel like you're almost going to win, but then you're winning one piece. And turns out there's only one piece somewhere. And those other pieces don't matter at all. Pretty much that's the crafting system. All the other pieces don't matter at all. You know, the regional pieces, the gold, the converging, none of that stuff matters. The only thing matters is the sim particle. Just like the actual winning piece, even though you have to collect a set, it's really only one winning piece. And that piece is sim particles. It almost seems like it's a waste of time to have the rest of the pieces. And they give you none of these. They give you none of these. Should be able to lock a stat before rerolling. Could cost a premium needed, I agree. Shadow nerfs, we're going to get to that. Disparity in PvP, Omega War matchmaking. Why are 850k million players fighting 500k players? Now, I want to say this. I've been hearing that if there's a difference in power level of even 100k, like 500k versus 600k, it's worlds apart. And I don't know if this is true, but I'm hearing like 600k players can typically one-shot 500k players. I don't know. I haven't experienced that, but that's what a lot of people have told me. Disparity in Dark Dual Zone. This is like the 1 versus 1 arena. Matchmaking, why do alternate characters have to fight in the same bracket? Why does a level 60 have to fight at a level 100 for an instant minus 15? It would take a free-to-play player roughly 10 months to 6-star set of gear. What if, for example, 9 months of building God of Magic, you nerf Gates, Doctor Strange, 9 months of work gone, become fodder, it becomes less of a nerf on the regional sets, but they are unicorns within themselves. And this is a stat that I've showed on this channel before from Yuletide Bringer. And yeah, the problem with this is that the gear on the characters does not transfer. This stuff does not transfer from character to character. So Iron Man's the best. They nerf Iron Man. They've nerfed characters. They've nerfed Doctor Strange. They nerfed Black Widow. And they boosted, a character like Star-Lord. They largely left Iron Man alone. But what if they change these pieces? Now, this is something that, they're talking about, that it takes almost, It takes almost, where is it? A full set, 315 days to get it all to 6. And the main problem I have with this system is like when you're playing the game, you get this 1-star gear, right? And you maybe get like 20 a day. And then on the 28th day of the login, they give you a 5-star piece, which is worth 1,296 1-star pieces. Literally, it's more important to log into the game every day than even playing the game, which is absurd if you ask me. I mean, really, everything is like allocated to you. There's really no way of earning more. There's the only way to get more is to spend money, is the way the game is set up. And everything is just handed out to you in these allowances, slowly dripped onto you. And some of this stuff is like year-long farms, and it takes you like a year. So mostly this game right now, I don't want to say it's pay to win, but it's pay to like rush. Like pretty much everything except for Omega cards, which is a whole nother video, let's say. There's no way of getting these gold Omega cards unless you literally just spend money. But there's other Omega cards that are good and you don't have to spend money on it. But it seems to me that, eventually I'll catch up to the people that have spent a lot of money, but it's really, really slow. Most of the stuff is going to take like a year. And what a lot of the Krakens have done on my server is they've spent a lot of money and they're like a year ahead of me. And so it's just going to take a long time to catch up to them. Dark Zone needs more than 2 time windows for 2 time points. Yeah, right now I have Dark Zone at 10 a.m. my time and 6 p.m. my time. And unfortunately, 6 p.m. is Marvel Strike Force stream time, so I'm not going to play in that. So I've been streaming it at 10 o'clock my time, and it's fine. I don't really like the Dark Zone mode myself. Core combining is almost as bad as Workshop at the rates. Perhaps adding 3 red cores have a chance at a 4 red. Yeah, there's this crafting system where it just basically, the higher up you go, that gets deletes. And I don't know if anybody has any 6-star cores, but it's been a problem. I mean, there's like very low chance of getting one, and then it takes 3 5s, which are hard enough to get themselves, to get a 6. And then if it fails, then you just have 1 5. It's just it's kind of negative progression. Let's talk Workshop. Okay, so this is probably the most controversial part of the game, and I know I've talked about this. Darth Microtransactions talked about this. Let's talk Workshop. I, to this date, have opened over 1,000 boxes of both pre and post sim particle change. I've opened a grand total of 3 regional pieces, 2 of which were duplicate helmets, because when you go through the game and when you complete a region, you get the helmet for free. So everybody has 1 regional piece from the get-go. And they even offer to sell you more, but then you could randomly get another helmet. So everybody has a helmet. It's like you got 1 out of the 4 pieces, but when you randomly get one, you could get another helmet, and it's a complete waste. Which a lot of people spend money on those offers when they complete a region, and then they get another helmet, and it's just nothing. The other 2 pieces are complete my set were from a sheer amount of whalage. That's right, spend a lot of money. This is extremely free to play unfriendly, correct, when it has a next to nothing drop rate. We don't know what the drop rate is. We think it's 1 in 300. It could be higher. And they've been changing the drop rates. The drop rates on this game there's no disclosure on any of the drop rates, and they've been changing it. And I think that the drop rates were very generous initially, and then they've been making them a lot worse. But I believe that is a soft launch problem. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, I know there are some lucky free-to-play members. That's me. Before I even spent any money, I had 3 pieces, and everybody has told me that me having 3 pieces is like equivalent of a whale spending several thousands of dollars, and it's probably the only reason why I'm not restarting my account on soft launch. Because on global launch, I was thinking about restarting my account, just going free to play on a global account and starting over when the new server. But what has happened to me is so incredibly rare that I feel like I need to stick with it. And that is awesome. Like, average player will not experience this. The lack of the pity system and being free to play would take you. He does some math. Basically, it says 636 days. That's if you don't get duplicates. If you get duplicates, it's a waste of time. And so I'm looking at getting duplicates right now, and I'm thinking it's going to take me more than a year to get that last piece. Because of the way that they have the system set up. But if I get duplicates, if it's a 1 in 200 drop rate, it's about a year. If it's 1 in 300, it's maybe a year and a half before I'll get the piece I want. Because I have everything but the boots. I could pull everything but the boots, and I have to keep doing it over and over again. It's just completely lucky. And then the only other way around is spend ungodly amounts of money on packs, and the cost of that is astronomical. We'll have to make a separate video about that. Just to read the ability to open them in a box. Granted, there could be even an event that gives out their counter, but for now, we'll omit that. If you spent 1.7 years trying to craft this amount of boxes just to get duplicates, that's what he's saying. You could just get duplicates. That would be insane. Which brought me to another point of building the 1 skill boosting sets. The gear takes you 315 days to complete to get assist. The risk of building those up to receive a nerf is crazy as well. Basically right now, I have some 5 gear. Eventually, once I played the game for 315 days, I might have all 6 gear. Well, they just nerf Iron Man. That gear does not transfer. Shadow nerfs. Oh my God. This is the part that drives me insane. And pretty much the point of the video and the reason why I'm making the video. And this is the part that people need to pay attention to. And also, if this is something that continues once the game is global, I feel like the game is unplayable. It's just, you can't play a game where the developers change the stats without giving any reasons. I feel that what's happening right now before I read this is that They wanted the game to be very fast and get people up and running very quickly so they could test all parts of the game and have people at all different parts. And now they're slowing it down, and it'll be very slow going forward. But in the first 2 weeks of playing soft launch, kind of like they did this in Marvel Strike Force, so I know this is a thing, but they're not explaining what they're doing, and they're nerfing things like crazy left and right, and it's upsetting. And if this continues in global, oh boy. This one, I have no mat to back up currently. I didn't think I would need to record the rate which badges dropped in the first 2 weeks. For now, I know this is true. Everybody I know knows that this was nerfed drastically. Does everyone remember how frequently people were retaining 5 and 6 star badges in Blitz in the first 2 weeks? People were walking around with full 6 stars. Now that doesn't happen. That take years now for that to happen. It made refreshing then absolutely the best thing to do with your crystals after the first patch, and even more so after the second patch. I've done full party members of 6 runs a day. That means he's spending cores or crystals, whatever they're called, gems. 24 chances, 168 badges dropped, and they've seen 1. You would see them on every run in the first 2 weeks. Now you see one for the rates have they've tanked the rates tenfold or something crazy. And 7 5-star badges since then. To make it worse, since it wasn't in the patch notes, as simple, we thought the players were progressing too fast. I don't think that was what happened. I think they did it on purpose. They wanted people to get the stuff early so they could test it out. And now that they've got the data they needed, they're dialing it to the way that they want it to be on global launch. The badge rates were decreased, sort of stemmed a lot of bleeding. Omega cards rewards from prime targets have felt way worse to open a Dark Zone badge boxes and Omega War badges. All the rates have everything been changed with 0 mention. This is true. There's no disclosure of any rates on any of this stuff anywhere. All I'm asking here is for all the transparency of the decision. This goes for patch notes. We are buffing X because we felt Y. We had to nerf Captain Marvel's Proton because, they did do this. They did this. They did give this information in the patch notes. Like, this specifically was a nerf, and they explained why. There was a special place you had to link on it. But as far as drop rates, no. So here's the thing. The game is fun. I like the game. I think the game is going to be wildly successful. But, there's a couple things that I'm worried about. And I'm just going to put this out there right now. Lineage, this game is mostly a reskin of a game called Lineage 2 Revolution. I'm going to guess that there's a large number of people that have never even heard of that game. But let me tell you this. Lineage 2 Revolution was like one of the biggest games of 2017. And they did almost $1 billion in revenue in their first year. Amazing. Like, wildly successful. And this game is modeled after it. They're both same company, same style of game, both have the word revolution in it. I mean, it's literally a clone of that game. And where is that game to now? I know it's still being played, but it's largely has died off. And then another game, which is not related to Netmarble or this game at all, is Genshin Impact. That game went berserk in the first year, and then now I don't even hear about it anymore. And so I'm worried that that's the plan for this game also. I don't know what their intentions are, or if it just, I hope they have a long-term strategy. But what they're doing right now to the players in soft launch is really bad. And they're burning out players. And players like Kraken Null, who wrote this Reddit post, is their prime target market. And they're burning through these people already. And I don't know what this is going to happen. And I want to give them the benefit of doubt for now because I know it's soft launch. But if this stuff keeps going on in global launch, I'm going to call it right now. The game is unplayable if that's the case. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And stay tuned to more videos. I'll be doing a ton more videos closer to this goes to global, which is October or on the 25th of this month, which is about 2 weeks away. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.
I'm about to go ham. Hard as a motherfucker, they know who I am.